so this video is on responsibility. Notice your response to that word. You could also say it's on integrity, on getting things done, on self-leadership. These would be other ways of saying the same thing. All right, so this is so fundamental. We do this early in the course. What I've learned over the years doing courses on everything, actually, not just this, everything, is that if people do not have this, they're fucked. They can't do the course, they're not gonna get anything from it, and also my life's gonna be a total pain in the ass, yeah? So for everyone's benefit, it's really important. This is like so vital that you pay full attention to this video. So what's it about? An example. Classic example I've got from Fred Kaufman, who's a guy that works like in this area. You're in a meeting, someone comes in late. What's the first thing they say? Why are you late? There was traffic, you know? Usual excuse. I was in Moscow once, and this was last winter, it was December in Moscow, someone came in late for a training, I said, hey, what's going on? They said, hey, it's snowing. I was like, dude, it's December in Moscow, of course it's fucking snowing, yeah? So it's like they're blaming the external situation. Now, in any place we are, in any situation we find ourselves in, whether it's arriving late or our life or our job or whatever it is, there's several factors at play. There's the ones we have control over, the ones we can be responsible for, response-able, you'll sometimes hear, and there's the situation that has happened to us. Yeah. Now, my claim would be Viktor Frankl's claim as well, which would be we always have a choice. So there's always some element of choice. There's always some element of decision, and that is what I find most constructive to focus on, because that's what I have some control over. Yeah? Viktor Frankl was the only psychiatrist to survive the concentration camps. So he was in perhaps one of the worst situations a human could find himself in, one of the situations with the least possible control. Every moment of his day is dictated in that situation. And he said, I still have a choice. He said, I have a choice, for example, about how I think. He said, when I see a guard, and he sees someone who's killing his friends, right? And he sees a guard, and the guard is upset. I have a choice to be kind to him. I have a choice in my attitude towards him, even if I can't behave differently or else I'll be killed. Yeah? Even to be killed is a choice, right? So there are people that said, you know what? I'd rather die than live this way. I'm not going to try and survive. That's a choice. So there's always a choice. And if someone in a concentration camp can say that, then I can say that. Yeah. Now, why you might be nodding like, yeah, of course we have a choice, and we make decisions. And why was the person late for the meeting? Well, yes, there might have been traffic, but could you have looked up the traffic? Could you have left your house earlier? Yeah. Could you have planned it better? There's still an element of responsibility in there. So why would we not say we have responsibility? Well, often responsibility people equate with blame. They think that's the same thing. So it's scary, because if we're responsible, if we've said, yes, I've made this choice and it's had this consequence, then we can be blamed. Yeah. So in the consequence, the consequence of your job, your choices are around your work. So in this setting we're looking at, to look at the work you do and say, you know what, I am at least in large part responsible for this. You were at the scene of the crime, right? Like, yes, you may have had a good education, you may have had a bad education, and we do need to acknowledge that social factors exist, environmental factors exist, cultural factors exist. Yeah, like I grew up in England, and in England you're told you shouldn't be too big for your boots. You should know your place. Yeah, now that was some serious cultural conditioning for me to undo, whereas, if you grew up in, say, New York, maybe you wouldn't have that as cultural conditioning. Still my responsibility, though, right, to undo that. So we do need to acknowledge things like, racism, sex, gender inequality, inequalities exist, and still acknowledging, on the other hand, so in one hand, our self-responsibility. Yeah, for me, it's not so much to say they don't exist. Of course they do, but it's like, what do I want to focus on? Yeah, if I'm doing social change work, of course I want to focus on the inequalities and look at what the problem is, yeah? But also, in my own life, I want to look at what choices can I make. Where do I want my focus to be? Do I want it on the things that I can't change so I can complain about them? There's a payoff, right? It feels kind of good. Yeah, so not only am I not to blame, so I'm not going to get punished, but I can moan, I can whine. It feels real good. So, it's not my fault. There's, with that, what we could call innocence, yeah, that sense of it wasn't me. You'll see this with kids as well. They'll say, "Oh, it broke." I used to work a lot with children. They'll be like, "Yeah, this thing broke." I'm like, "It didn't break. You broke it." Yeah, and then what they're really saying is, "Don't punish me." And it's like, and the same with grown-ups. Why is the project late? Why is the project late? Oh, there was delays, there was, the supplier, not you didn't contract well with the supplier, not you didn't build in consequences for the supplier to be delayed, yeah? This is bullshit. We know it's bullshit. If someone says, why didn't you, I don't know, come to my wedding? Why didn't you come to my birthday, right? If they say, this thing happened, they're a victim, and it's bullshit. Actually, my niece, who's 5, knows it's bullshit. She said to me once, she's old enough to we get on really well. We love to play together, we had a great time. And she said, why don't you visit more often? And she lives a little bit far away from me. And, so 3 or 4 hours on the train. And I said, you know what, I'm really busy with work. And she looked at me and she said, why don't you come visit me more often? She knew it was bullshit. And the honest answer was, it's really tiring to come here and it costs me quite a lot of money. And actually, my commitments to my work are greater than that. Yeah, I care more about my work than visiting you every week, so I visit you once a month. Now that's brutal. This is one of the people I love most in the world, right? And that's a brutal thing to say. It's like, whoa. So I wouldn't have voiced it like that with her, but she certainly knew I was making a choice. Yeah, so a 5-year-old knows it, adults know it, people in the company knows it. But this innocence, what this gives us is this sense that we can't be blamed. Unfortunately, there's a consequence. Yeah? There's a consequence to innocence, and that's impotence. Again, from Fred Kaufman, just to name sources. So we are impotent, we are powerless. We can't change ourselves or the world. That's problematic if you're trying to find a career which is better suited to your values and your strengths, yeah? We need to take this basic position of there's something I can do and that's what I'm gonna focus on. Not, I didn't have enough time, I didn't have enough money, I didn't have enough this, I didn't have enough that. It's just not true because there are people that have very, very limited resources that still make amazing careers, make amazing contributions, yeah? And I'm acknowledging, for example, I had the privilege of when I started my business, I had £3,000 inheritance, which in the UK is not so much money, but it's a hell of a lot better than nothing. Yeah, so it gave me a few months to kind of find my way. I bought a laptop. Some kid in Ethiopia, I've worked in Ethiopia, some kid in Ethiopia doesn't have that. They might have $3. Yeah, so I really want to acknowledge there are differences. There are definitely differences. My friend who went to Eton might have had £3 million to start his business. Yeah, so we have different situations, and we all have a certain level of responsibility. We're all able to make choices about the things that matter. This is vital for this course because this course has a certain commitment. A commitment is where you've said, yes, I will do this. Yeah, so when you signed up for the course, there was an opt-in email, it was on the website, we were real clear about it. Like, if you want to play with us, here's the deal. And the reason we had that is I don't want to mess around. I want a course where people actually get a result. I want a course where people pay their money for an outcome. So I've not ripped them off, and they don't talk shit about the course because they get great things from it, and they tell everyone it's amazing, right? So everybody wins. I can only do that, we can only do that on this course if people do the work, yeah? So there's a commitment to the work. There's not just that I'll try or I'd like to, that's weasel language. I need to, I might, Imagine if when we got married we said that, do you take this person, I just got married, right? Do we take this person to be your lawful wedded wife, husband, whatever, donkey? Yeah, I might, I'll try, I'd like to, I need to. That would be nice. We don't, do we? We commit, we publicly commit, and we say yes, we say I'm in. Same with this course, this commitment is really important. And it's not about excuses. So excuses are banned. There's no excuses on this course. The same, when I turn up late for a meeting, no excuses, right? It's not to say you're not human. Like, I was late the other day for something, and I turned up and said, guys, I'm really sorry. I fucked up. What can I do about it? So it's not about never fucking up. It's not about not being human. It's about honoring commitments, yeah? In terms of running a business and getting things done, aside from the fact that this is a great life philosophy and good for your course, good for the course and all the rest of it, this is also the essence of business. It's making agreements, it's having clear contracts with people, yeah? Talking to the filming guy ahead of doing this, it was okay, so what am I getting for my money? What, is the equipment included? Is the room rent included? Being able to contract well with people and then hold them to account. So if the film guy comes back and says, actually, it's going to cost 10 times as much as I said, I say, no, we had an agreement, yeah? So, within a certain boundaries of flexibility. So he's just looking worried now, yeah? It's no, I fucking mean it, right? We have agreements. So this is the essence of business, the essence of getting things done, the essence of how we coordinate with others over time. Not to keep every agreement, but to honor it. My colleague Francis Bryars, I've worked with a lot, he calls this the warrior's choice. He says we don't have to be a bully, we don't have to be a victim, we can be a warrior. Now, I like that. I'm a martial artist. For me, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm responsible for my choices. I'm responsible for my word. This is about trust. You think, martial artists might say honor. It's a big word. We might talk in business, though. It's about trust, right? Like, does your client trust you to deliver? If you've done what you said in the past, they will. If you've not done business with them, but they talk to someone that's done business with you, it's just the whole social proof thing, right? Then they trust you because you said you'd do something and you did it. Yeah? And if you didn't do it, you would, A, it doesn't happen very often, and B, you took that very seriously. You apologized, offered the money back, whatever it was. Yeah. So responsibility is the essence of trust and good business, as well as what makes this course work, that people do what they say. So if you're just seeing this and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm not sure if I can keep the commitments I've made, like, we're serious about that. We're gonna be chasing you if you haven't. And more than that, it's not about policing it. It's about you being responsible and saying, yes, I've made a decision here on this course to do this much work, to see it through to the end, to do the coursework that's required to get the outcome that you've said you want for your money, yeah? If you look at this now and go, oh shit, I didn't realize they were for real. I thought I could just sign up for it and then disappear or do what I wanted. No, you can't. Yeah, so bad luck. You're not going to get your money back. We were clear about that up front. We can discuss it with you to support you. The course manager's job is there to really support you, to help you. And there's commitment on this course. So responsibility, not only important for this course, I'd say it's the fundamental thing for leadership, it's the fundamental thing for running your life, and it's the fundamental thing for doing business with other people. So this whole thing can kind of sound heavy, and again, that's if it's not a nice message. Yeah, I wish this message was like, yay, fluffy. Actually, it's not. It's just something real, right? I think you guys already know this. I think you know it. So I invite you into that frame of being responsible rather than a victim. Sometimes it's called being a player. I like to say being a leader rather than a victim. That's the basic frame. And on this course, I want you to be really, because most people do this more or less well. Yeah, but be really, really sharp on it. Like when you have your small group calls, if you turn up late, that's a really good one to use. Do you make an excuse? Yeah, if you're emailing the course manager, something's late, is there an excuse there? Is it like something happened, right? Because some people don't, I remember I had a student from Israel on a course, and she was a single mother with 3 jobs. She had a karate practice on top of that, and there was Hamas rocket bombardments happening during the course. Yeah, she still got all her work in on time. She didn't make a single excuse, because that was her mentality, that was her philosophy, that was just how she was. Other people, far easier situations, oh, sorry, this happened. So it's your choice. I invite you into that. That's the fundamental frame of this course. One of choice, one of responsibility, one of leadership. And if you're good, improve it. That alone is worth the money of the course. Like that alone is going to change your business and your life.